When I was a kid, I had dreams of my mother going away. I kept seeing my mother drive away in a car. I knew that was her death. I communicated that fact to some of the people in my family. And when she did die, everyone was in some way relieved that I had such peace with it. But I had come to trust my dreams earlier and to see that they were wonderful information.
One of the neat things I think about dreams is we dream in symbols.
To me, in a dream, if you see a window, it's not just a window. It's what does the window do? Like, you can look through a window. What color is the window? White, purity. Like, all the little details matter. In Greek culture, when you see something really negative happening to yourself, or when you see something really negative like death happening to someone else, that means good things are gonna happen to them. Or it could be, as I said, a reflection on oneself, that it's a warning to you that you're doing something wrong and you're ashamed of some aspect of your life, that you need to fix that.
There is the unconscious and the subconscious and the conscious. That which you clearly, truly know is the conscious. That which you kind of know but really aren't sure about is the subconscious. And then there is the unconscious, the things you don't know. And in our lives, we start in the subjective conscious. But as we evolve and grow, we start to approach the unconscious. And that's where our dreams come in, because our dreams are quote-unquote unconscious. We're not dreaming them. They're part of us. And in that little sphere of the subjective conscious, we're encountering this mass collective of experience that is the totality of all of our lives that everybody's ever lived since the beginning of time, the collective unconscious.
There's tons of information about yourself in dreams.
If you look at your dreams, you begin to realize that your dreams apply only to you. I had a nightmare recently of Martha Stewart, and she and I were standing in the kitchen, which was funny because I was about 2 blocks from her studio. I kept trying to do something and I kept messing it up, and she kept getting angrier and angrier at me. And I suddenly realized that was my fear of being found wanting in the front of someone who's so accomplished. And if you use that as a context and use it as a learning tool and say, all right, what is this dream trying to tell me? You can then do something in waking life to change that outcome. That's evolution, that's growth. When I started studying Jung, I started reading about how their dream interpretation, the Jungian school, is that water always represents change. And as a kid, I was always having dreams about all of this water, whether I was swimming in a pool or going down a waterfall. And when I took that as a starting point and started working from that way and looking at my own dreams, it opened up Jung for me. And I think it opened me as well.
A big component of psychoanalysis is dream work. I think it's the one form of therapy that we have that can actually change psychic structure in a good way. In other words, like if you have destructive patterns in your life, like you always pick the wrong guy. There's a reason why you're picking the wrong guy. And until you can figure out what that is, your unconscious will keep picking the wrong guy.
Jungians always ask each other when we greet. It isn't how are you, it's did you sleep well, did you dream? Because in the Jungian school, dreams are that window. We look at them and say, it's a tool. It's a tool from beyond us to us that has purpose and reason. And if you actually work with them, what you learn is phenomenal. It gives so much to you.
the thing that I experienced was fascinating is I didn't remember my dreams before I started analysis. And then once I started analysis, I dreamt every night. And then sometimes I wouldn't remember the dream, but then I would lay on the couch, and as I was talking, the dream would come back. It was amazing. It was just like this magic thing. And most people that go into analysis or psychodynamic psychotherapy, they want to learn about the unconscious part of them. And that's the part that there's no way you can have access to directly when you're waking. So one of the ways you can access is through dreams, but also through some of the things that you say or talk about during your analysis, which is the value of having someone else even help you with that, because you have kind of a neutral person who also knows you and knows your whole life history and can kind of piece it together about what it might mean.
One of the biggest dreams I remember is standing on the top of a canyon, and I'm looking out over a canyon that's like a great big Y in front of me, with a branch to the left and the right. I'm in the base of the Y in front of me. And as I look at it, I see these white clouds and a blue sky. That dream I had as a kid about that Y-shaped canyon, it actually exists. It's in a place called the Canyon de Chelly in Arizona. And when I went there for the first time, I about passed out because it was like leaving my body and going, oh my God, I've seen this. It's an affirmation to us to say, this little life that you're living, as big as you think it is just one bead in the necklace. And the necklace is so much greater than you can imagine in this little life. But trust what happens in this little life, and you'll grow into something really wonderful.
I would have this recurring dream when I was younger. There was this man, and he had a briefcase, and he had bamboo square glasses, and he would keep coming into my dreams and just ruining my life. He would kill my parents, my dog, my friends. And I was really young at the time, and that was scary.
Nightmares are custom made by us for us. And if you examine your fears, you'll see that your fears are actually predicated on knowledge that you got as a child. And when you unravel that experience and understand what the message was, you're not afraid as much.
When I was younger, I was in Greece. There were two girls riding on one bike. They fell off and their mom got scared and she started yelling at this boy. And I went up to her, I'm like, you can't yell at him, he didn't do anything. Only one person's allowed on a bike at a time. And she turns around and she had square glasses. And she would yell at me, and she was threatening to hit me, and she was coming closer to hit me. And that was my first frightening experience with a human being. And just the fact that those square glasses came back in a dream, ever since I was a kid. And they keep coming back as maybe the negativity of humans.
Waking and asleep, fear is always present. Fear is something that's here to help us become better. And dreams, if you trust them, play a piece in shaping that future. What we do invariably is we dismiss the knowledge. And when we do that, we limit our evolution and our personal growth. Every day when you wake up here, trust the experience you have. And when you sleep, trust that experience too. Because everything that happens here to each individual is significant in the life of that individual and is here to help that individual progress.